you pick them up, put them down, turn it around, right? Everybody, hello, and welcome to y'all. I was just about to say welcome to Prophetic Flow. Welcome to Vessel of Hope. How are you all doing today? Oh my gosh, it's Tuesday. So I'm here to give you your Tuesday goodness, your Tuesday greatness, your Tuesday time to step away from the world and the work week and what's going on. Because there's a lot that's going on in the world for us to have a conversation today. Thank you all. But here, you all know what I need for you to do for me. I need for those of you there that are on Facebook to go ahead and give me some love. Give a love and share it on your wall. Someone to pass by and be like, what she said? This girl, she's on here every Tuesday. I wonder what she's saying today. And they might stop and listen and it might bless their soul. Who knows, right? And for those of you there that are on YouTube, go ahead and click the subscription bar and share it on your YouTube page. And back again on Facebook. Follow, and follow. Thank you. And did I say thank you? And thank you again. I appreciate it. I appreciate the like, the love, and the share. How are y'all doing? Mother P, how are you doing? Yo, I was telling my brother today, I was like, Mother P, I said, your mother. I said, your mother's something else, boy. You hear me? She's something else. I said, when I give her tea, she'll be like, okay, yeah, this tea. Okay, wow, yeah, it look cool. But when Apostle give her tea, she tell everybody, oh yeah, Mertlin, give me tea, and nice. Like, you know what? I'm not giving you tea no more. That's it. I'm not making no tea. I'm not making you coffee. I'm not making you no tea because you disrespectful. So I passed by to her to tell her brother. She was like, yeah, they didn't give me no lunch yet today. I'm like, wow. She didn't give me no lunch yet, and I like me food hot. So I told Apostle, she was like, so I guess you give her food cold, don't you? I say, you know what? I'm gonna take it out the freezer and give it to her just like that, right? So that's just a side note. But how everyone's doing, how you all doing? Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you for being a part today of Vessel of Hope. It's good afternoon for you, for us to have our conversation today. We're so thankful that we're in the fall. The weather is beautiful. Like you leave your window open when you're driving. You don't have to turn the heat on. But if you close your window all the way up and don't turn the heat on, it gets hot in the car. So you got to tip it down a little bit. It's that kind of tricky weather today, right? This morning when I went out, I had a jacket on, because I was like, ooh, got a little chilly. By the time I get in the car, drove like a good 2 miles. I was like, ooh, got to take this jacket off because the weather start changing, right? But we are here today. Ooh, it's hot in Florida. You keep that weather there, Prophetess Sharice. We don't want it. It's you keep it, right? You keep it. Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about I said what I said. I said what I said. We all know, we have the understanding that words have meaning, right? We know words have meaning. No matter what you say, that's why we have dictionary. Because for each word that you will speak, there is a meaning for it. So words have meaning, right? The Miranda warning. The Miranda warning is something that's read to individual that's being arrested. And here's what it says to them. It says, you have a right to remain silent, right? It says to them, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one will be provided for you. Do you understand these rights as I have read them to you, or as I said them to you, right? So this is the Miranda warning. This is something that's being said. So they're telling you that you have this right to not say anything, right? But remember, whatever you say, Sister Glover, they're going to use it against you. Whatever you say in the midst of all of this, as you will take those rights, Prophetess Loretta, and you're going to speak, it's going to be used against you. So you all know I don't like those definite words, right? I don't like to use definite words. But watch this. Everything you say will come back to you. I'm using a definite, Prophetess guy. Everything you say will come back to you. The good, the bad, and the indifferent. You ever heard someone just come back and say, but remember when you said so and so and so and so and so, and you're like, wow, how do you even remember that? That's like 10 years ago. Why? Because people will take your words and what you say, they'll hold on to it. So everything you say can come back to you. It can come back to you. Right? So your words should have meaning. This is why you should say what you mean and mean what you say. Say what you mean and mean what you say. We know we have this cousin, right? The other day, like 3 years ago or so. My brother came down to visit from Georgia. So a cousin was going to come and see him. So this particular cousin, prophetess guy and apostle, they run the same age, right? Apostle and this cousin run the same age. So apostle said, telling you, he's not gonna come. I'm telling you. If he tells you, because she remember growing up, she said, if he tells you to reach you at this place, don't go there because he's not gonna be there. Go on the opposite side of the town, and he's probably over there. But he's not gonna be there. So he was saying, "Oh, we're gonna come over. I'm gonna come over and see you." And Apostle was like, "You're not gonna come. Tell you, it's not his words, because she knows him as his word is not golden. You can't stand on his word. So whatever he said, he doesn't mean it. So if he tells you, meet me at 2 o'clock on the corner of Church and Flatbush, you better just go to the junction and meet him at 5 o'clock, because that's where he's gonna be. But here, so we have to be careful, because our words, right? When you say something, you have to mean what you say and say what you mean. In doing that, you're saying what I said is what it is, right? What I said is what it is. When the kids were younger, and I say something, they go to apostle and they say, man, she not what they like to say, she's not gonna break. She's not gonna break. Whatever she said, that's it. They tell apostle about me. Whatever she said, that's it. She's not gonna change her mind. That's it. Because my words are golden. My words are golden. Whatever I speak, that's it. I'm never afraid when someone would start a sentence to me about me and say, but you said, because I know what I said. I know what I said. And I'm not, so I can't be scared and be like, oh boy. When they said, and what you said, I won't be like, oh my gosh, what did I say now? What did I say now? Why? Because I mean what I say, and I say what I mean, right? I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. So if I say, no, this is not going to happen, guarantee it, I'm sticking to that. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm sticking to it. Apostles that way too, Lord Jesus. If I say no, it's no. I'll be praying. I'll be like, Lord, Father, in the name of Jesus, Lord, touch her heart. Let her change her mind, Father God. Lord, please, God, Lord. Oh, Lord, only you alone can do it. I can't do it, Father God. I don't have that power, Lord. But your words, you should say say what you mean and mean what you say. I said what I said. So when we're speaking, right? When we're speaking, say what you mean and mean what you say. Again, I'm never afraid when someone say what you said, because I know what I said and I meant what I said. And I'm not going to try to say, no, but I never said that. No, I never said that. No, unless you're trying to lie on me. Then I'll be like, girl, you better stop. You better stop. You better stop, because the devil is a liar, and so are you right now. But Prophet Better, your words have weight, right? Your words have weight. So when you speak and say something, you should mean what you say. If I said this, I said this, right? If you hold me on these words, you hold me on these words. When you go to court, you lift your hands. I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help me God, right? Because what? Because your words there, whatever you say, is what you said, and it's being quoted back. But you said, when the kids were young again, if I tell him, if I say, okay, we're gonna leave at 4 o'clock, and we're gonna go here, and we're gonna do this or whatever, and they get all excited at 4 o'clock, but you all gotta. I always end up, you all gotta behave. If you don't behave and you start getting on my nerves, we're not going nowhere. So they already know those words are golden. We're gonna behave, because at 4 o'clock we're gonna leave. By 12 o'clock, these kids are dressing ready, and they're like, anytime for us to go. I said, what time? I said, we're leaving. 4 o'clock, right? Yeah, it's 12 o'clock. Why you got dressed so early? We're leaving till 4 o'clock. So to sit around, wait. And I always have a rule. If I tell you we're leaving at 4 o'clock, and you see me come down that stairs at 3:58, and I'm going through that door at 4 o'clock, and you're not with me, I'm leaving without you. Why? Because I said what I said. I said 4 o'clock. So the kids already know. I love it when they do, and they catch on real quick. So they do this. Even CJ, he's not like 15, and he already know if I said we're leaving at 4 o'clock. By 3:30, he's sitting downstairs waiting, because he's like, she said we're leaving at 4 o'clock. We're gonna leave at 4 o'clock. So I'm not trying to be left. So at 3:30, I'm sitting down there and I'm ready to go. Why? Because I said what I said. So you should be able, Prophet Reese laughing. You should be able, for when you're telling someone something, that your words, right? What you said, they said, well, she said this. So that means that's final. That if she said that, that's gonna happen. You know those people. I love when they have people that they'll tell you something. You're like, wow, okay, yeah, that's golden. That word is golden. There, I can reach them at there. I can meet them at there. I can take their word straight. Why? Because they said what they said. because they've proven themselves that, okay, if they said something, this is what it is, and this is how it's going to be. Again, your words are golden. When you say something, mean it. Remember that. Your words are golden. When you say something, mean it. I know sometimes you'll tell somebody, okay, this and this and this and this, and then things change, right? Situations change. It's like, I said so and so. This is how I'll come. If things change, situation change, I'll say, I know I said so and so, but can we move it this way? Or can we do it this way? Or if I'm scheduling a meeting for apostle, okay, we're supposed to meet at 4:00 and so. But then if I see like 3:55 and apostle is still in another meeting, or she's still tied up on something, okay, you know what? I know you're scheduled at 4:00, but can we move it to 4:30? By then, tentatively by then, apostle should be wrapped up and you should be ready for your meeting. Why? Because I already told you this time. So I want to make sure my words are golden. I want to make sure that I said what I said and that you trust those words that I say to you, right? Can somebody say, I know you talking right? There we go. Prophetess guy say amen. She on top of it, right? Right. Exactly. Communication is necessary. I don't like when people assume. Those people assume. Listen, we're not going with assumption. Say what you say. Say what you say. Something, you're talking to someone and they say, you kind of know what I mean? No, I kind of don't want to know what you mean. Can you break it down a little? And I'll say that. Can you break it down a little bit? Can you elaborate on that a little bit? Can you, what are you really trying to say? Or if I'm in a mood and I'm just like, I am not Jesus. So I'm not trying to speak parable and I don't want to read through the parable. So I'm not doing this with you today. But say what you're going to say. Plain it out for me, right? Make it plain. So when we leave the table, this is what I said. I know this is what you said. And especially if you're in an argument, probably with someone, and they're going on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And at the end of the day, and this is why it's so important. This is why it's so the stop think process. When you're arguing with someone, because you're going to say what you want to say in an argument, right? That's why you ugly. That's why your toes is crazy. You say crazy things that don't even make any kind of sense. You're just saying and saying and saying and saying. And then what happened? The person you're saying it to, they're holding on to those words. Okay, this is what they're saying. Okay, this is what they're saying. Okay, this is what they're saying. And because you're so angry, you're just saying anything. And you know what? What's important too is when in arguments, that's how true colors come out too. The things you really want to say. The things you really want to say. Why you always gotta leave the door open? Why can't you just close the door? Just push the door back in. Apostle has this thing about doors in the kitchen, right? Mother P, when she's in the kitchen, she'll pull out this drawer. She'll pull out this drawer to get a bowl out. And she'll pull out the garbage, the way the garbage thing, she'll pull that out, and then she'll go and she'll open the thing for the seasoning thing, and then she'll go and then she'll open the door to get a cup for her coffee. And you turn around, there's 4 doors open. Like, why can't you just close? If you open it, Mother P, you take it out, you close it back, right? You close it back. And Apostle has this thing about these doors being open. Yes, close the door, right? Close the door. Because why? Because when you're passing by, you're hitting up your head, you're stomping your toes. Why? Close the door. So imagine now I'm in an argument with Mother P. Why you always gotta leave all the doors open about? So that Mother P sitting there processing, thinking, and then she's like, you know what? Why you gotta be talking about them doors? Why you gotta keep talking about those doors, those drawers that I leave open? Why you always gotta talk about those drawers? But if in the midst of it you're hanging out and you're like, Mother B, can you just close the door? Why you always gotta open it? Just close the door. But no, you wait until there's an argument, and then you're yelling it, and you always leave these doors open. Get on my nerves. Why are you doing that? Why? Because you should have said what you wanted to say in the beginning before you get into an argument about it. So now you want to say it, but now you're saying it with rage. Now you're saying it with anger. So again, we talked about this the other day. So now the person that's receiving it, they're like, I can't, why are they yelling? Why are they so upset? We could have talked about this before. Going back to what Prophet Sheree said, communication. Communication is vital, right? So again, say what I said. So we have to be careful with what we say. When someone say what they said, you should be able to trust those words. Right? You should be able to trust those words with the kids. If I say we're leaving at 4:00, by 3:30, they're downstairs, boots on, jackets on, waiting by the door. And especially if I say on the way going or come back, we're gonna stop at a fast food place and I'm gonna get you guys a treat or whatever the situation. Oh, hey, they're on it. But they know If they come downstairs at 4:15, I'm already gone because I said 4 o'clock. Because what? I said what I said. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing too. You got to be careful not to renege those words you said, right? Like if you tell someone, if you do that one more time, that's it. But then what happened? That person, they'll do it again one more time. And you'll say, if you do that one more time, that's it. And then what happens? They'll do it again one more time. And then they keep doing it and doing it. Why? Because your words just fall to the ground. Your words are not golden. If I say, if you do that one more time, I'm gonna knock you out. I shouldn't speak violence on Facebook or YouTube because they're gonna start being like, oh, yeah, yeah. But if you say that, if you say to someone, if you say to okay, you come in this house late one more time, I'm gonna change the locks and you won't get in. And if that next time that child sneak out and they want to come and they know their curfew is at 10 o'clock or 12 o'clock and they want to come in at 4 o'clock in the morning and you say, okay, they're not coming, I'm changing those locks. So what happened when they come? Oh, dang, she was serious. She really did change those locks. Like she's dead serious. I know a friend, she used to tell me when her and her brother, they shared a room, if there was an argument going on and her mom was like, you guys can't behave. You can't behave. She said, okay, do it one more time. I take the doors off. They argue again. The mother came. She screwed out all the doors to the room. What is that? I said what I said. So now next time, if you're going to argue, we better argue with no one see, with no one hear. Because what your words should be golden. I said what I said and I mean it. So this is how we should be just in general, not because you're a believer in the Lord and so forth and so forth. Your words should be so golden that if I said, hey, this is what we're going to do, we're going to do it. If I said, you know what, if this is where we're going to go there. Why? Because that show forth that you are trustworthy. Here's what Proverbs 18:21 says in the Amplified translation. It says it this way. It's very quiet in this house today. It's quiet, isn't it? Apostle says the Holy Ghost. You know why it's quiet? Because Apostle don't got her music blasting in my ears. That's why. Here's what Proverbs 18:21 Amplified Bible says. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. And those who love it and indulge it will eat its fruit and bear the consequences of their words. Isn't that something? So that's why we have to be careful of what we say. And when we say it, make sure we mean what we say. Because after you speak it, there's power there. If you tell someone they're ugly, we talked about this 2 weeks ago, they're going to keep walking around. Oh, I'm so ugly. I'm so ugly. Oh, I'm so ugly. Today I was in Brooklyn and I was at a spot and I said, oh, let me go this meter spot. And, for those of you who don't know, Proverbs Word, Proverbs Joyce, New Yorkers, Monday, Thursday, Monday, Wednesday, Monday, Thursday over here, Tuesday, Friday over here. Usually Wednesday, sometimes it's a day off. So I'm on a spot. I'm like, oh, let me go on the Monday side. I'm just sitting there because of the empty spots. I'm sitting waiting. So this man pulled up and I was like, oh, so let me come out. So I said to him, I said, oh, you know what? I can back up on this side by the hydrant and you could take the spot because I'm just waiting on someone. I don't need this spot. And he said, darling, he said, it's an older man. When he came out of Canada. I was like, oh, Lord. He said, darling, you're so sweet, You're so sweet and nice. He said, wow, you're so pleasant. I was like, oh, well, because I know how New York streets are. So I can come here to the hydrant because I'm not going anywhere. And you can just come over here. So anyway, so I went into the corner store. I'm going to just go to the corner store anyway. So I come back out and he said to me, and he said, you're beautiful young lady. And I said, oh, Lord, here we go. He whole broke up self. But he said what he said. And I felt nice. I was like, oh, look at this gentleman. I had on my jean skirt and, my little army jacket because I'm running in. And I was like, look at this little gentleman. He's like, you're a beautiful lady, but thank you. Thank you. You're lovely. I said, well, thank you. And then I'm walking away. And he said, and you just made my day. You just made my day. I was like, oh. I said, God bless you, sir. God bless you. Let me hurry up and run out of this conversation. But he said what he said. And what he said is word just perhaps Loretta flirting. Yeah, his old look like 70-something year old man. But he was so cute, just a cute old man, right? But he said what he said. And those words, I was like, oh wow, that's so nice of him, right? He said what he said. And I don't know if he meant it, but I'm the receiver of those words. And I felt like he meant it. And I was like, oh, it just made my day. So I said all that to say When you say what you say, your words have power, right? Your words have weight. So if you tell someone, oh, you look so pretty today, you're so beautiful today, just like those spouse. If you tell your husband, oh, honey, you such a handsome, you look so good. I mean, your husband may be tore up to everybody else, but to you, he's so handsome. You make his day. Why? Because your words have weight. Your words have power. You lift them up. Honey, thank you so much for all you do for this family. You just a breadwinner. You're just bringing in that money. You're making, oh, he could be working at McDonald's. Man, you're such a hard worker. You making that money for us. What? It uplift him. But if every time he come home, you're a no good, dirty man. I can't stand you. Look at you. Look at your toe. Look at your head. I don't know what's wrong with you. I'm sick of you. You remember Bobby? Bobby at work telling me how cute I am. You over here looking all rugged. What is that? Those words have, well, you said what you said already. Those words have weight and they have power to destroy and cripple that poor husband that's been trying his best and you over there beating him down. So you got to say what you say and mean it. Say what you say and mean it, and make sure your words are golden, right? Because what because what is it? And those who love it and indulge it will eat its fruit and bear the consequences of their words. That child that you always tell them they're no good, you're going to bear the consequences of that because they're going to turn out no good. That spouse that you keep saying that I can't stand you no more. I should have left you and I should have gone to Billy instead of you. Well, you know what? You keep saying those things and telling them that you can't stand them no more. That's why y'all sleeping in separate rooms. Or that's why he on the couch, you in the bed. I'm just saying. This not for nobody, but I'm just saying, right? Because what? Because you are eating the consequences of it up. You're eating the benefits of it up, of it all, right? So again, say what you say and mean it. So here's some things, some people you need to watch out for. Watch out for the people who say one thing and mean another. When you say what you say, watch out for the people that say one thing and they mean another. Those are the people that just irk my nerves. Irk my nerves. I know people who say one thing, but they don't really mean it. So they're talking, you're like, oh, here we go again. They just talking out of air right now because they just talking. So you watch out for those people, or you watch out for the people that say one thing and do the opposite. Those are the two people. Say one thing and do the other, right? And mean the other. Say one thing and mean the other, or say one thing and do the opposite. I love you, but all they spew into you is hate, right? Oh, I'll always be there for you, but you can never find them when you can never find them. And these are the people I love because these are the ones that's usually at a funeral, right? If you need me, just call me. I'll be there for you. Oh my gosh, I feel your pain. Yeah, you call them a week later. They don't pick up the phone. So watch out for those people. The one that say, girl, you can tell me anything. I won't say a word. Tell me I won't say a word. By the end of the day, someone else is calling you. You know what Susie just told me about you? But I literally just told Susie. That I think my spouse is cheating. And she says she won't tell nobody. Watch out for those people who say one thing and mean something else. You can trust me, so you can trust me. I'll never say no. Ooh, never say never. Never say never. My aunt always used to tell us that. Never say never because of yourself, right? Because of you, your own being. You and this is one thing. This is one thing I know. Sometimes you don't know how much what you're capable of until, right? Until. Whitney used to sing that song. I didn't know my own strength. You didn't know how strong you are until you needed strength, right? Or you didn't know how weak you were until you fell into temptation. Or you didn't know how much you didn't get over until you right back in that place. So you never say, oh, I want to. So we got to be careful. We got to be careful. Our words. I said what I said. But when you say what you say, you got to mean it. And here's some things you need to watch out for. Some people you need to watch out for. Watch out for people that say they're loyal. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Prophetess Diaz, I wish I had a large Dr. Pepper right now. Watch out for people that say they are loyal. Loyalty is not only spoken, it is seen. Right? I said what I said, but watch out for people that say they are loyal. Loyalty is not only said, it is seen. Someone asked a question one time. Someone said to someone the other day, a while back, are you humble? So the person said, I forgot who it was. It was a while ago. So the person said, if I answer that question, that means I'm not humble. If I say I'm humble, that means I'm not humble. It's the same as loyalty. If someone says I'm loyal, watch out for that. Not necessarily everyone, but just in general, watch out for that. Because loyalty again is not only said, it's being seen. So you said what you said, but make sure you follow through with those words. So you got to watch out for those. And sometimes you have to keep an eye on those that say they will never do that to you. Oh, I said what I said. Listen to the words. And this is what I always say. I always say I don't just hear what people say. I hear what they don't say. Right? Because when you said what you said, that's it. That's golden. That's golden. So again, sometimes you have to watch out for those people that say, I will never do that to you. I will never do that to you. The definition of loyalty is different, Webster Dictionary, right? Again, so watch out. Watch out people say, I will never do that to you. Why? Because you don't truly know what's inside of someone, right? Those spouses that say they're married for years and you said, wow, I didn't even know you had that inside of you. Wow. Or like a spouse, I find out the next spouse is cheating. I didn't even know you were a cheater. How is that even possible? Watch out. Watch out. Watch out for the people. Again, watch out for the people that said, I will never do that to you. Apostle says it all the time. Apostle say, I know what she like, I know her better than she know herself. It's facts. When I tell you it's facts, it's factual. So I know the things that Apostle will say or will do or wouldn't do. I know her temperaments. Okay, Apostle. Okay, I see Apostle moving this way. All right, let me back up a little bit. Back up a little bit. I gotta tell her something, but I'm not gonna tell her right now. I'm gonna wait a little later because when I say what I said, it's gonna be a wrap. And not only that, how I'm saying it. Right? We talked about this. How you say your words. I said what I said, but how do you say your words? I know you're like, what are we talking about today? We just conversate, right? How do you say your words, prophetess guy? How do you say? Apostle and I were talking about this just the other day. We were giving an example, and she was like, if someone's saying, Marcelle, come here, I'll be like, who are you talking to? You better be Alberta Pollard. You don't want me talking to me like that. What's wrong with you? But Apostle said, but what if I said, Marcelle, can you come here, please? I said what I said, but I said it in so many different ways, Mother Dennis. I said it in so many different tones. So watch what you say. You said, I know you said that, but how did you say it? Right? So again, watch out for those people. Watch out for those people. And don't allow people to speak for you. When you got to say what you got to say what you said, don't allow people to speak for you because your words are your words. That's one thing I cannot stand. I cannot stand when people speak for me, especially if you don't really know me. Apostle can speak for me because you know me, and I speak for Apostle all the time. Right? Mother P can speak for me. Don't you know me? Because Mother P always say, I know y'all. And then she'll say, the only thing I can do is put life into you. I'm like, but you birthed us. What are you saying? Of course Jesus gave us breath and life, but you birthed us, so you did put life into us, right? So again, what I cannot stand is when someone speak for you. Speak for yourself. Own your own words. Own your words. If someone came and said, you said this, okay, when did I say that? Why did I say that? What's the context behind what I said? Like on social media, they like to cut pieces of speeches from individuals and they'll put pieces out, but they won't put the whole context. So they put pieces out, and this is what you hear. So you're like, I can't believe they said that. But what's the context of why that was said? Let's get the whole story together. Let's get the whole framework here. We can't just build a house with a roof. We need the bottom, right? We need a foundation. Imagine going to a house and there's only a roof. That's gonna be supernatural power. There's only a roof. That there's no foundation. That there's no stem. That there's no bottom. There's only a roof. So let's get the foundation. This is why you have to speak for yourself. Do not allow people to speak for you. Right? Right, Sister Evelyn? Do not allow people to speak for you. Your words are your words. Your words are your words. You quote. No, I did. Listen, someone misquote me. No, that's not what I said. Nope, that's not what I said. And the kids used to love to do that when they were younger. But you said, no, that's not what I said. That's what you want to hear. I said what I said, but that's what you want to hear. That's not what I said. That's not what I never said that. That's not the words those are not the words that came out of my mouth. So do not allow people to speak for you. When individuals speak for you, you lose your voice and they will become your mouthpiece saying what you never said. Yeah. Saying what you never said. So you got to be careful. This is what they say. They'll say things like, "Oh, that's not what they really meant." How you know what they really meant? I can sometimes that just irritates. That's not what they really meant. How you know what they really meant? Can they tell me what they meant then? This is why we cannot speak in parable, because you said what you said and mean it, right? You cannot speak in parables. You have to say what you say, because what someone else that's hearing will interpret those words as something else. Own your words. Don't let someone speak to you and say that's not what they really meant. Now, apostles being the Spirit of the Lord over here speaking in tongues, or they say something like, I think what they wanted to say was, what you mean what I wanted to say? You in my brains? You in my brains? How do you mean what I wanted to say? This is why you have to say what you want to say. Don't allow people to say for you, because they're gonna move your own words. They psychic. They psychic past. Pastor Sharice, you're absolutely right. They must be psychic. They must be psychic. One time, and they have those people you're having a conversation with, and they're talking, and you're saying something, and then they interrupt you and say, "Oh yeah, I know what you're trying to say." I look at them like, but I didn't finish saying what I was saying. So if I didn't finish saying what I was saying, how do you know what I was trying to say? Apostle and I have twin minds, right? So we'll finish each other's sentences. She'd be like, uh-huh. And I'd be like, uh-huh. I'd be like, uh-huh. I'd be like, oh yeah. Because we have twin minds. Because she'll say something and I'll finish it off, or I'll say something, she'll finish it off. Because we know where we're going, again, because we know each other so well. So Apostle can speak for me, right? And I'm like, girl, you was right. You was right. That's exactly what I was about to say, right? Why? But then you have to be careful with people who do not know you, but they want to speak for you. Be careful, because that's how your name get mixed up in scandal. That's how your words get twisted and move around, because you do not want to speak for yourself. Say what you want to say. Say what you want to say. I said it and I meant it. These are my words, right? And we have to be careful with when people say, "Oh, they wanted to say." Oh my gosh. How you know what I wanted to say? I don't say what I wanted to say. I say what I want to say. I didn't want it to say that. I said what I want to say. So be careful of those individuals that want to speak for you. Oh, what they wanted to say, or that's not how they meant it. How you know how I meant it? How you know how I meant it? I understand in some situation, Prophetess Joyce, when someone is trying to defend someone, and maybe their words are being taken out of context, and someone saying, "No, but I don't think that's how they meant it. They meant it so and so and this and this." This is why we have to be clear with how we speak and what we say. So when we say what we said, we can say, "I said it. I said what I said." When I was younger, and as many of you may know, I used to do a lot of fighting, like fight a lot and stuff like that. So if someone's like, "I heard you was talking smack about me." Yes, I was talking smack about you. So what? Because I said what I said. I own my words. It doesn't matter how big the person may be, right? I own my words. So you can come and say so and so. I said what I said. So no one can say, "Oh, they heard so and so." Yes, you may have heard that, but that's exactly what I meant. That's exactly what I meant. I believe in some form of fashion. It causes trouble if you don't speak in your own words. Sister Evelyn, you are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Because when someone else is speaking for you, that's not your voice. That's like if apostle will come here and say, "Oh, she's now the host of Vessel of Hope." I'm like that's not your thing, apostle. And imagine me switching over and be like, "Oh, I'm doing prophetic declaration on Friday night." I mean, I am a pastor, I can preach, but I'm not apostle. right? So because it's two different dynamics, so I can't speak her words. Imagine if apostles running late on a Sunday, and apostle already have her sermon, and she's like, oh look, take my sermon and preach it for me. I can't, because those are her words, so I cannot preach her words. We don't, apostle and I don't, we don't speak the same. We don't have the same speech. We were talking about it just yesterday too. We were talking about it when we're home. Oh boy, when we're home, we're going to our dialect. We're just be like, and I could be ghetto and bad. I'm like, man, you don't even understand what I'm saying, man. I'm not doing that today. Not doing that today. Because what? Because we're in the comfort, so we're saying our own words. But if I'm sitting here, I cannot come sit here in Vessel of Hope and I'm just giving you ebonics. You're gonna be like, what is she saying? I don't even know the new terminologies they have today anyway, the slangs. But I cannot come here and speak ebonics, or I cannot come here and just speak Guyanese and be like, oh, well, on, everybody, come, thank you for joining me today, and let me talk and things. I cannot do that because because what? My audience is not all Guyanese. So you want to understand what I'm saying. So what I have to do, I have to make sure that when I'm speaking, I know what I'm saying, and I'm saying it as best as I can, articulate as best as I can, intelligently as best as I can, so that you can understand. So when you leave here, she said what she said. Man, Pastor Marcelle said what she said, right? So say what you say and mean it, right? So when you lose your voice, someone else speaking for you, you will not be heard. You will not be heard. So you have to say what you want to say, right? So you have to learn that if you do speak, make it make sense. Right, Papa Sharice? We say it a lot. Make it make sense. If you do speak, and when you do speak, make it make sense. Because I said this before, I'm so honored. I'm so thankful that you all come and you sit here and you're able to listen to me. You don't have to do it, not because you're members of Healing Sanctuary, or you follow Apostle Merton A. Sampson and we shared on the walls, or you follow someone in there. But you come here on Tuesday and you sit down and you're listening to me. So I have to make sure when I'm sitting here, I make it make sense. So what I'm saying to you should make sense, right? Because I said what I said, and I'm meaning what I'm saying. So again, when you're speaking, make sure it makes sense, even though sometimes we just have to not say anything. We have to not say anything. I said what I said, but sometimes I have to not say anything. I have to not say. Why? Because silence is a language as well. Yeah. Silence is a language as well. You know the saying, silence is deadly? When the kids were younger and they're in a house, and then it's noisy, then all of a sudden it's quiet for 15 minutes. We're like, me and Possible P and in the house, all the adults look at each other, something wrong, something, it's too quiet. One is sleeping, the other one is over here. We're missing one. And that one is very, very quiet. So what happened? That quiet one, we go over and we look, and what's that quiet one in the corner pooping? In their pull-ups, or they're causing mischief. One time I walked in my room, and Prophet CJ, he was probably like 2 years old, and he took the powder and he sprayed it all up on the floor because it was so quiet. He sprayed on the floor, and then he walked on it, and he ran out into the living room, and he went and sat down. So I'm like, and then the powder in his face. I'm like, who did that? There was 3 kids in the house. I'm like, who did this? Who did this? It was like, well, me. Well, me. Even he was like, it was me. All the evidence is on his feet, and then looking at it. So I said, come here. I grabbed him and I took a picture. I said, come here, I'm gonna send it to your mom. Look at you. Look at you. What? Because there's silence. So we have to be, silence is deadly. So not every time we really have to say. Sometimes you just have to be quiet. And you have to know who to be quiet in front of. Stop talking unless you are going to say what needs to be said. Right? Stop talking unless you're going to say what needs to be said. You ever having a conversation with someone, and let's say we're talking about the weather. Oh, it's fall weather here, Sister Glover. It's fall. It's beautiful weather. You know, I went out. I went out with a little jacket, but it was nice. And man, it's so nice. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's a not. It's just so lovely. And then all of a sudden we're talking about the weather, and the person just going to say, oh yeah, I gotta cut my toenails, and this toenail is just so long, and I got these socks. I'm not gonna put on these socks. Why are we talking about your toenails and socks when we talking about the weather? You're not staying in the frame of the conversation that we're having. So again, at that time, you just need to be quiet. Okay, you keep going on about your toenails and them socks. When you ready to get back to the weather, we'll go back to the weather. Why? Because this is how things get all confused. And this is how things get all mixed up. Because I'm still talking about the weather and you're talking about your toenails and your socks. That has nothing to do with us talking about the weather. So again, stop talking unless you are going to say what needs to be said. In doing that, you will save yourself a lot of trouble. After you say what you need to say, stop talking. You will save yourself a lot of trouble. Listen, I know, I'm human too. There's sometimes when I want to say some things. But I said, you know what? No, let me just stop and just listen. Let me just watch the actions. Let me just watch the reactions. Let me see how things are going. And then, okay, you know what? I process that. Okay, now we can have a conversation because now when I speak, I'm going to say what I really need to say. And this is why when I was younger, I was very reactive, very reactive. But as I got older, you ever were in an argument with someone and we're closing off. Arguing with someone and you're mad and you're like yelling, yelling, yelling. And then when you finish the argument, you're like, man, I forgot to say this. And I forgot to say that. Oh, I wish I said that. I would have punched him in the neck if I said that. Oh, I would have hit him in the gut. I should have said that, but I didn't get a chance to say that. Oh, I'm so mad I didn't get a chance to say that. Why? Because you're reactive. You're not taking a moment to have silence before you speak, before you say what you have to say. So now what? So now if someone says something, I was like, I'm not gonna respond to that right now. I'm gonna process that. I'm gonna make sure that what I say, what I have to say, that it comes out the exact way I want it to be heard. The tone is exact where I want to be. Because at the end of the day, this is gonna be the end of this argument. I'm gonna say what I have to say, and I'm gonna walk away because I was silent for a while. So here, just stop talking because it saves yourself trouble. Here's what Proverbs 21 and 23 says, and then we're closing after this, right? Proverbs 21:23, the Message Bible says it this way: watch your words and hold your tongue. Basically, shut up. Watch your words and hold your tongue. You'll save yourself a lot of grief. And this is true. Watch your words. Hold your tongue. You'll save yourself a lot of grief. The King James says, keep his soul from trouble. When you watch your words and hold your tongue, you keep yourself from trouble. You keep yourself grief. Why? Because you lay down at night and you're like, oh my God, I should have never said that. Oh, I can't believe they said that. Oh, I can't believe I said that. I can't even take that back. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said it this way. So when you say, if you get nothing from what I'm saying here, when you say what you need to say, when you said what you said, make sure you think about it. Because what it can either cause you grief, it can either cause you trouble, or it can either bring joy. So say what you need to say and be careful all you say. The next time you say something, make sure you say what you need to say and say what you meant and say it right. All right? How was that? Good? Everybody good? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, we're going to close now. Thank you all so much for joining, for watching today. Don't forget www.hellomarcelsampson.com. I got a new vlog coming. It's almost finished. It's coming out soon. And I'll let you all know when it come out. I'll paste it right here on YouTube. I'll paste it right here on Facebook so you know that it is there. But I thank you all for joining today. Let me pray, Lord. I thank you for your people. Thank you for the best of hope, sir. Thank you that they took time out of their day for us to have this conversation. I hope that we are all edified through it, Lord. I pray even now that you will continue to bless your people, continue to keep them throughout the day. I thank you for your grace and your mercy that's continue to overshadow them. Meet their needs as always. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you, thank you, thank you all for joining. Don't forget to love, like, share, follow, and subscribe. And as always, I love you, and I'll see you all next week. Let me God bless you. See you next week. Bye now.